Hello, and in today's video we are doing EFL Championship predictions for match week number 9 of the 2023 to 24 season. Yes, back with another video on the Reverse the Hornet channel. I won't be able to do loads of videos, I'll assure you, these next few weeks because I'm at uni at the moment. Things are quite busy, but I just thought I'd treat you to a round of predictions on the channel. And first up, we've got the Championship this weekend with some interesting games kicking off around the grounds in the EFL Championship. We're going to talk about what are my predictions for match week number 9, what did my predictions turn out to be in match week 8, how did we get on with those predictions, and much more. I'm trying to remember actually where my predictions book actually is from the last match week, so bear with me through the video basically as I try and find that. I might be able to locate that if I'm lucky. If not, no worries, we can always just focus on match week number 9, which is of course the week ahead of us. I'm sure I had it somewhere here. Sorry people, bear with a second. Have I just misplaced it? Yeah, I probably have, to be fair. Where could it be? Because I'm sure it wasn't far. I think I've just misplaced it. So hopefully I'll be able to find that, people, and we can look at... Sorry. What do you mean, bruv? Sorry. The meeting seems to have stopped for a second. Sorry about that. Sorry about this, people. I don't know what's gone on with my webcam all of a sudden. It just decided to give up on me, basically. Sorry about that. It's back now, I think. So hopefully that won't, make the video too glitchy or stop the audio too much. So hopefully I'm not too out of sync. But yeah, that was weird. I don't know quite what happened there, but hopefully it's captured everything. As I was saying, we're talking about match week number 9 this week. Once I've actually managed to have found the... here it is. I found it, don't worry. So we'll show you how we got on in match week number 8 and then predict match week 9 of the EFL Championship. And yeah, we'll get straight into things. So let's look back on how we did in match week number 8. And the first game on the results page was, of course, Birmingham City against Queen's Park Rangers. I thought this would be a fairly comfortable result for Birmingham City. I felt that they would, have what it takes to get the victory. So I actually predicted in this game that it would be Birmingham City 2, QPR 0. But fair play, I was very wrong. It was not, in fact, a Birmingham City victory. And QPR, to be fair to them, held strong on that Friday night football. It ended 0-0 in the end, so you just got to say fair play to, Gareth Ainsworth and them. That's a decent result for QPR, and so yeah, not good for the prediction. 0 points for me there. I think maybe what happened earlier was we just lost a bit of internet connection, so apologies for that. But hopefully everything is still working all fine. We will try and persist despite the technical obstacles thrown in front of us. Yeah, as I say, it was 0-0, a good result for QPR in the end, but not good for the predictions. Also, we had Leeds United against Watford. For this one, I thought we would get a draw from this. I felt this would be a tricky game, but I thought we'd come away from Ellen Road with a point. Leeds 2, Watford 2. It was, of course, 3-0 in an absolutely horrendous performance from the Hornets. Ultimately, I've talked about, a few days ago, the kind of progress that's been made off the pitch in terms of the intensity, the quality in our play, and ultimately just the overall feeling around the football club. That it feels a lot more of a team united, team spirit mentality, and also he's stamped out any kind of coasters basically, and he's got them playing with discipline and also playing for the shirt. And what a great kind of few performances we've shown under Valérien Ismaël this season in that attacking 4-3-3 with Sierrata as the 6, We've got Ince and Martins hugging the wings. And then we've got, obviously, up front, Milietar Rajovic, who's been banging in the goals, left, right and centre. And it was a very disappointing result against Leeds because we played well, I thought, against West Brom. Unlucky to not win the game. Defensively, still looking a bit shaky at times. But we have always been struggling to balance that, defence against the attack. And I'm thinking, at least let's try and get a couple of goals here because Leeds have been leaking goals. But to not score any and to have only one shot on target and one corner is simply not good enough. Our away form over the last, 7 seasons has been horrendous generally. And too many just damp squibs away from home. So very, very disappointing. Yet again, we are throwing an absolutely awful performance at Ellen Road. And just need to really go back to the drawing board after that performance. But as I say, in the grand scheme of things, with what Valérien Ismaël has done in a very short time at Watford, he's really rejuvenated the club, got them on the right track again after he, came in the summer and has rebuilt that team. It's a process, it's a project that he's got, and he's taken a lot of players out of that squad. He's brought in some where he could, but it's changed the mentality and the mindset. So I hope the mindset has changed for Gino Pozzo to stay patient with Valérien Ismaël after, yes, that's a bad performance, but to be honest, that's probably the only game we've played really badly this season. In all the games, we've at least played well and had chances and had a good performance as a whole. It's like with Watford, we feel we got our club back. We've got an identity now, a 4-3-3 style of play that we can expect. In previous managers, we've not had that. So I'm taking it as an overall win. Obviously, Leeds was awful, and I don't want to see that kind of performance again, but we do have to think about the bigger picture here and not get too panicked as Watford fans. But look, we'll have to see. Obviously, international break, that is often a time when Gino Pozzo does sack his managers. And I'm not saying that Pozzo is necessarily going to do what he's always done, because maybe he might have changed. He does seem to have struck up a good relationship this time with Valérien Ismaël. And there were talks a few weeks ago, actually, of maybe a possible contract renewal for Valérien Ismaël, which, as I, jokingly say, it is very rare for among Watford managers because of Pozzo's, hire and fire strategy. So that's encouraging. Obviously, I hope one bad away game at Leeds doesn't change that. But we'll have to see. Right, we'll have to see. Hopefully, the boys can bounce back in style in the game at Vicarage Road against Middlesbrough, which, to be honest, is a game we should be winning 3 points from. Because, yes, Middlesbrough on their day are a decent side. They've got the likes of Chuba Akpom, the likes of in goal, Seny Dieng, obviously came from QPR. He was one of the few goalkeepers that I think scored in the Championship last season. That was incredible. But yeah, generally, it was a very, very bad start to the season for Middlesbrough. And so we have to think this is a game we have to win. I'm not going to say, Middlesbrough are a bad team because, like I said, on their day, they've got good players that could hurt you. But the way that their current form is, we have to see this as 3 points, especially as at home. We've played well, but we've just not always won the games. Like, you see that against Plymouth, really good chances, but we don't win the game. You see that against Blackburn, good chances, but we lose the game. And we can't afford to let these teams, who, to be honest, don't have a lot of the match, but then still take something from us from the game to get those points, because we need to make Vicarage Road a fortress. Because last season we were beaten too much at Vicarage Road and it was really, really bad, and hence we didn't get the playoffs as we were hoping. So if we can just make an outside push for those playoffs this season, I would be a very happy Hornet. But, we do need consistency of results, and if we can win on consecutive runs, I thought that's what we were doing. We got those wins against Birmingham City and with the West Brom game, but no, we can't. And then obviously, the disappointment at Leeds. So, it's not good for my prediction. I sent with 2-2 and it was 3-3. The goals in the end coming from Sam Byram, of course, former Norwich City defender. Joel Pirot, who I did talk about ahead up preview of the game, because ultimately he's such a danger man in the Championship. He's done it for countless occasions for Swansea, and now he's doing it for Leeds. And of course also Jaden Anthony's also got the goal there, so his arrival from Bournemouth working well for Leeds United. But just really disappointing, as I say. 4 shots, 1 on target is simply not good enough. And I get you're going to probably not have a lot of possession away at Ellen Road. It's quite a tough place to dominate the ball, but I mean, look, to see the difference in the passes, 524 versus 359. The difference is just outrageous. 15 fouls, 3 yellow cards, and just 1 corner is really not good enough. So I have to say, an important reaction needs to be shown at home to Middlesbrough on Saturday. Of course, you'll remember the game last season we faced against Middlesbrough was the centenary celebration of Vicarage Road, 100 years at that famous stadium. And Vakun Bayo got a late famous winner in the black and white centenary, shirt, basically, celebrating that milestone. So let's see if he starts, because at the moment it's been Rajovic tearing it up. And Bayo actually wasn't even in the squad, I don't think, against Birmingham City, if I remember rightly. So, yeah, some options, obviously, for Valérien Ismaël to pick. Obviously, we've seen the likes of Ryan Andrews play really well. Obviously, Jamal Lewis started his first game against West Bromwich Albion. Or was it Leeds? No, it was the Leeds United game he started. And look, it was not a good game, but I don't think that was down to him. I think Jamal Lewis obviously has been out for a long time, so hopefully he'll get back to full fitness. But we saw Andrews and Lewis start against Leeds, which was good to see. Those are probably our strongest fullbacks, but we need to get better against Middlesbrough. For the rest of the weekend's results, we also had the games between West Brom and Millwall. That one I thought West Brom would actually lose. I thought Millwall, decent side, maybe West Brom are showing a few defensive frailties. So I went for a 2-1 away win for Millwall. It ended in 0-0, quite a uneventful game, so no points again for the prediction. So at this point, it's not a good start. Leicester City against Bristol City, I thought Leicester would have a fairly comfortable victory, 2-0 on the day. It ended up 1-0, so yeah, fair play to Bristol City for making it tough, but Jamie Vardy penalty was enough to get the Foxes the victory, and just the 3 points for me there, but at least it's something, we're off the mark. Swansea against Sheffield Wednesday, I felt this would be a tight game because obviously both these sides at the start of the season have been struggling. So I went for a 1-1 draw, and it turns out Sheffield Wednesday, their problems go deeper than I first thought. And yeah, there's actually been an announcement from the Sheffield Wednesday owner about the kind of problems at the club at the moment, and talking about, basically the fans, they have to take ownership and they have to pay the money and help out the club. So it's not looking good for Sheffield Wednesday at the moment. And I do fear for Xisco Munoz, the ex-Watford manager, who, you feel for him because he's been given a squad that at this level it's just not cutting it. It's just a big upgrade into the Championship. So yeah, it's a matter of time, I think, with the way that Sheffield Wednesday owner operates, for them to see Munoz given the boot. But I feel for him because I don't think it's his fault really. He's a lovely guy, great manager. It's his tools at his disposal, and they didn't exactly have a lot of money to spend in the window, so it was hard to strengthen areas they needed to strengthen. So yeah, 3-0 Swansea, a comprehensive victory for the Swans, and goals from Jamal Lowe, Jerry Yates and Patino got the victory. But ultimately, yeah, Swansea not looking great this season, but that's the sort of game that maybe could turn their season if they can carry it on. So yeah, again, 0 points for me. Then we had Rotherham against Preston. I thought Preston, the way they've started this season, surely will win this. Rotherham have not been great, and Preston have been near the top of the table, so I went for a 2-1 Preston win. And of course, the 1 week that I backed Preston, which is, to be fair, before this week was not very often, and that was my own mistake. This week I backed Preston and they let me down. So it just shows, doesn't it? Whenever I don't back them, they always win, and now it's reversal. It finished 1-1 in the end. Tight game, obviously. It's a good point there for Rotherham, but Jordan Hugill for the Rotherham team getting the equaliser, the opener, I should say. But Lindsay on half time with a second goal in the game, and so that it was even Stevens there. So yeah, again, no points for my prediction. Not looking good, Brev. Middlesbrough against Southampton. Now this was a game I felt, obviously, Southampton defensively have been a bit all over the shop recently, but they've still been scoring goals for the likes of Adam Armstrong, Che Adams, and Samuel Dozie. But what happened? An absolute nightmare for Southampton, because they lost against Middlesbrough, which is not good timing, I'll be honest, ahead of Watford's game with Borough on Saturday, because it was a confidence winning gaining win. Goals from Riley McGree and Johnny Howson from the penalty spot got them the win. Adam Armstrong, as I just mentioned, he got the goal for Southampton, but Southampton need to sort out that defence and ASAP. So yeah, I ended up predicting 2-0 away win for Southampton, so all wrong there. The points just not exactly around this week in the predictions, it seems. A lot of shocks in Matchweek number 8. Then we had Plymouth against Norwich City. I thought, Plymouth, they've been pretty good this season. Obviously defensively, sometimes a bit weak, but in terms of their style of football under I've got to say, a very decent manager in the Championship at the moment, Schumacher. I thought, yeah, Norwich are a decent side. They probably will win this still. They've started the season really well under David Wagner. But no, 6-2. 6-2 to Plymouth. Incredible scoreline. That's why the Championship, you just cannot predict it. And so, yeah, I got this all wrong. I said Plymouth, Argyle 1, Norwich 3. So, yeah, horrendous stuff, really. But what a game from Plymouth. And incredible stuff, really. A hat-trick from Morgan Whittaker. What a signing he's been since he came in from Swansea. Also a goal for Cundall. Luke Cundall, I think he arrived from Wolves. And also goals for Scar and Azaz. And I think there might have been a little assist in there for the likes of Ryan Hardy. So, yeah, terrible game for Norwich. Actually, despite all of that, they did get 2 goals away from home. And it was both from Adam Eder. But I tell you, Norwich, they were so good before that. So what happened there, I don't quite know. But, yeah, not good for the predictions indeed. Next up, we had Ipswich against Blackburn. For this one, I thought Ipswich would, huff and puff, but Blackburn are a decent side, so I thought this would be a draw. But fair play, Ipswich. What a game, can I just say. 4-3. There were some incredible matches this week in the Championship. Because, 7-goal thriller, 79th minute winner, goal in the first 4 minutes, goal in the first 10 minutes from Blackburn. So there was just everything going on in this game. An own goal from Clark at the back for Ipswich, a goal from Broadhead, a goal from Hurst. It was incredible, and Smolix obviously got the goal again for Blackburn. So it was, a really incredible match, but no points again for the predictions. Oh, dearie me, this is a shambles. Stoke City against Hull. Now, this obviously wasn't the easiest of games for Hull City. To be fair, they've been doing quite well, Hull, with the likes of Oscar Estupinian. Ozan Tufan obviously scored for them in the early parts of the season, but they've got a few decent players, Hull, at the moment. But they faced a Stoke side who have had blowing hot on cold. They've been decent at times. The likes of Andre Vidigal has done very well for them, but he's been injured at times, and then he came back and he scored. But ultimately, a good win for Hull. 3-1 on the day, and Connolly with a goal again for Hull City. He's really doing well, Aaron Connolly, at that club. Also, a Traore goal and a Slater finish to end off the game late on. So look, good win for Hull, fair play to them. I actually did say a 2-0 victory to Stoke, so I was proven wrong yet again. And then the last 2 games were Sunderland against Cardiff City on the Sky Sports football. And look, again, I thought this was a game that Sunderland would win. They've done well this season, Sunderland. They've scored goals through the likes of Jack Clark. But no, fair play to Cardiff City. 1-0 away win for the Bluebirds. They have been a much better team this season, with certainly Aaron Ramsey in the team. But it finished 1-0 to the Bluebirds. McGuinness with the goal very late on, 87th minute. So an absolute killer for those Sunderland fans heading into their match this Friday against Sheffield Wednesday. But ultimately, nothing for the predictions. I went for a 2-1 to Sunderland. And finally, we had Coventry City against Huddersfield. I predicted Coventry City 1, Huddersfield Town 1. And that's exactly what it was. It finished that. So 7 points. Finally, some points in these predictions. But 10 points across 12 games is just very, very bad. So look, I got this bang on the money, but only just, right? Because the final goal very late on from Michael Healick for Huddersfield. Then the first goal from Coventry for Ayari. So look, incredible match week of action. Lots of shocks, lots of goals. What will match week 9 bring? Let's find out. Here are my predictions for match week number 9 of the Championship. So then, match week number 9 is Sheffield Wednesday versus Sunderland to kick things off. Now, I do feel as though this is a game on paper that if Sunderland do manage losing, then they will be really in disarray. As I say, it was a surprising result against Cardiff, but Cardiff are a decent side on their day, especially with Aaron Ramsey in the team. So I do feel, that would be a real shock if they lost this one. Just based off current form, Sheffield Wednesday are not a side that have been doing amazing stuff, really. I look at it and think, that would be a really good result for Sheffield Wednesday if they can manage it. But look, it's a Friday night kickoff. It's the 8 o'clock kickoff. Let's see. Something crazy could happen. Some magic can happen. We'll have to see. But I think generally this will be a result for Sunderland, and they'll take home the 3 points with Tony Mowbray in the charge of the Black Cats. And Sheffield Wednesday, obviously, recently their old manager Darren Moore's just joined Huddersfield. He got to that point 1-1 at Coventry. So what will Sheffield Wednesday be able to do here? Maybe time is running out for Xisco Munoz. We'll have to see. And if they get a battering here, then it's very likely. What with the recent comments from the owner. But I don't know. I think this will be a victory for Sunderland on the night. I do want to cheer on Munoz, but this is a tricky game, I think. So I think Sunderland will win this 2-0 away from home, and both goals I think will come from Jack Clarke. Okay, let's move on to the Saturday fixtures then in the Championship. We've got Southampton against Leeds United in the early kickoff. Now, this is a fascinating game, of course. Both these sides in the Premier League last season. Still decent squads, to be fair. Obviously, Leeds have lost quite a few, like Jack Harrison and Rodrigo. And Southampton have lost a few, like Ward-Prowse. But Southampton, on paper, have still got an incredible squad. It's just, I'm not too convinced, I'll be honest, by Russell Martin as a manager in the Championship. Look, he's decent, but I don't think he's necessarily, at the moment, showing he can get teams promoted. So, I think Southampton need to sort out that defence, and fast. The likes of Ryan Manning have not quite done what they would hope to do, which is obviously keep those clean sheets. So Southampton, I think, will concede here, but I do feel they'll get the victory. I think they'll bounce back from a very disappointing result last time against Middlesbrough. I'll say Southampton 2, Leeds United 1. I think goal scorers, I think the first one will be Adam Armstrong. Leeds United hit back through Jorginho Ruta, but then the second Southampton goal, let's go for Samuel Edozie. Now it's Bristol City against Stoke City. Now this is a game, obviously, Bristol City head into this off the back of a interesting matchup in Matchweek 8 against a side in the form of Leicester that obviously they would think most weeks will be a tough matchup. Stoke City, on the other hand, well, maybe the game last week showed they have got a soft centre at times because they did get beat by Hull City. I think Bristol City, though, with a home advantage, will get a point here. I think they're strong enough for that. I don't think Stoke can rip up trees. They're not an amazing team, right? But they also have a quality. We know that with Andre Vidigal and many more. So I think, yeah, there will be a 1-1 draw here, but could be an exciting game. I think goal scorers here. Pring, I think, will score for Bristol City. And then the goal scorer for Stoke, let's go for Vidigal yet again. Moving on quickly then, Cardiff City against Rotherham. I think this will be a Cardiff win. I just think Cardiff looking good this season, much better than last season, that's for sure. And they're facing a Rotherham side that, defensively I still feel for them. They are struggling a little bit. So I will say Cardiff City 2, Rotherham United 0, with Perry NG getting the first for Cardiff, and then the second, of course, it's Aaron Ramsey. Now, let's move on to Huddersfield against Ipswich. Now, Huddersfield, you feel this will be a bit of a struggle this season for them to get loads of wins. Obviously, Darren Moore's come in, good point away to Coventry, so fair enough. But they face Ipswich this week. That's, again, another tricky game, I think. Ipswich have looked really good under Kieran McKenna this season. So I will say Huddersfield will lose this one, but I don't think there's necessarily doom and gloom for Huddersfield. I think they should still hopefully stay up from their perspective. Huddersfield 1, Ipswich Town 3. Then it's Hull against Plymouth. Now, I do feel that this will be a tight game because I do like both these sides attacking football. The likes of Bally Mumba and Ryan Hardy and Morgan Whittaker for Plymouth, but then also for Hull, the likes of, when he's fit, Ozan Tufan. Obviously, they've got Estupinian up front, and of course, Aaron Connolly. I think Hull, though, will get the victory. I think they will score in this game. It will be a tight game, but I'll go for Hull City 3, Plymouth Argyle 2. I say tight, I mean close one, not obviously a low scorer. But I think first goal for Plymouth from Ryan Hardy, then Hull score through Estupinian, then Hardy gets an assist for a goal from, yet again, another goal for Morgan Whittaker, so it's 2-1 to Plymouth. But then Hull hit back with another goal from Estupinian, and then the winner, it's Aaron Connolly. Next up, we've got Millwall against Swansea City. Now, I feel this will be a tight game again, but just because I don't think there's many goals coming at the moment for Millwall. They've got, obviously, Tom Bradshaw, but outside of that, I'm not sure where the goals will be. Swansea City were very good last week. Yes, granted, they were facing Sheffield Wednesday, but those goals will give them confidence. So I think Millwall will just about sneak a win, but it will be a tight game. 2-1 to Millwall. Norwich against Birmingham City. Now, this is an interesting game. Obviously, Birmingham City have started the season quite well. Obviously, before that Watford game, were looking really good and were unbeaten. Norwich City, on the other hand, they obviously did lose heavily against Plymouth last time out, but I don't think they are going to be impacted by that too much. I think it was just a one-week blip. So I'll say Norwich City to win this by 3-0. And goal scorers for Norwich, I think there'll be 2 from Gabriel Sara and 1 from Rowe. But yeah, a fairly comfortable result in the end, I think, for them. Then we've got the game between Preston and West Brom. Now, I feel this will be a tight game. Do I feel that Preston will keep a clean sheet here. Probably not. So I'll go Preston North End 1, West Bromwich Albion 1, and goal scorers, I think Hughes will score for Preston, and for West Brom, we'll go for, yet again, John Swift. Then we've got QPR against Coventry. I don't know why I said QPR. QPR against Coventry City. QPR obviously good point away to Birmingham City. That was not an easy result last week. Coventry, on the other hand, they are looking a bit less, exciting as they were last season. But maybe that's, playoff final heartache or something. I'm not quite sure. Ultimately, though, I look at it and think they're a decent side still. So I think QPR will lose this one. QPR 0, Coventry 2. And then we've got Watford against Middlesbrough. It's another 3 o'clocker on Saturday. Big game for the Hornets, just because I feel there needs to be a reaction from the players. We've seen this season the atmosphere off the pitch, around the training ground, has been much, much better. The intensity in training, the camaraderie in the team, that everyone's fighting for each other now. Now I want to see, is that still going to be the case after a 3-0 heavy defeat and a poor performance? That's going to be ultimately where the proof will be in the pudding. But, hopefully with the home support, the Rookery roar behind them, we can get the victory against Middlesbrough. Obviously, Michael Carrick, I rate him as a manager. He's a quality manager. It's just not quite worked out for him so far this season. But, they could come good. Obviously, they started badly last season and then still got in the playoff. So, I don't know. It's a tough one. But I think we can win this one. I think we've got enough quality. So long as we stop playing it round at the back and giving away silly errors, then maybe we'll just about claim the victory in this one. So I'll say Watford 2, Middlesbrough 0. I think a clean sheet at home would be nice after a bit of a disappointing result against West Brom in terms of that defensive, sharpness. I'll say, 2-0. Goal scorers, I'll go for Mateus Martins and then, of course, Milietar Rajovic. Okay, next up, it's a game between... Oh, I actually don't know who it is between. I think it's a Sunday game. So let me just quickly check if there are any Sunday games. Yes, there is just the one. So it's the Blackburn Rovers against Leicester City match. So this will be interesting. Do I feel Blackburn are going to win this? Probably not, actually, because I think Leicester are very good. But will they get a point? Yeah, I think they will. I'm going to go for 2-2. I think this could be a good game. Blackburn with the home advantage will huff and puff, but I think Leicester will get a 2-2 draw, and goal scorers for Leicester will go for Dewsbury Hall and Jamie Vardy. But that's my predictions for match week number 9 of the EFL Championship. I think that's all the games. Let me just check there's not a Monday night kickoff. Nope, there isn't. Yep, that's all the games this weekend. So do get your score predictions for the Championship in the comment section below ASAP ahead of that Sheffield Wednesday Sunderland kickoff. And I hope you have enjoyed. Smash a like on it if you did. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.